the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mahoning Valley Daily Podcast. It is September 3rd, and I am your host, Ron Cabuno. Today is a Friday show, so we're going to keep this thing short and sweet. It is also Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer. So get out there and do what you got to do while you can and while you have that extra day to do it. I promise we're going to have more voices on this show than just my own next week. We've got some good interviews coming up, so please stay tuned to that. But for now, it's going to be short and sweet and just me today. Let me first start by saying congratulations to the Ohio State Buckeyes. They came out last night in a conference game with the season opener against Minnesota, and they were gangbusters. We got to see a lot of these heralded freshmen who are coming in, and they're going to be the bee's knees for at least a couple years. Right now, the Buckeyes are 4th ranked, and they were able to win by about a couple scores on the Golden Gophers from the Gopher State. Last night, it was nice. There was a lot of lightning in a bottle. There was a lot of explosive plays, and it looks like it's going to be a very fun season to watch. We are thankfully a long way away from a couple yards and a cloud of dust as we used to have to watch the Buckeyes rumble along. No offense to the Tressel era. They got it done too. It's just a little more fun to watch when we air it out, isn't it? This weekend, as I said, is the Labor Day weekend, and I'd just like to take a moment to give a hats off to the working man. The working man who takes a shower after his day of work and not before it. The working man who essentially built the middle class that we are so proud to have here in this country. It is not just a country of the have and have-nots. It is a country that actually thinks that upward mobility is good and something that everyone should be able to participate in as long as they work as hard as possible and use their brains. So fantastic. Give a hats off to somebody out there working really hard this weekend that you normally wouldn't have, and say thank you very much for rolling up your sleeves and getting the job done for everybody else around you. I wanted to give a shout out to Mvdp. I just found out yesterday that this man is back in town. If you don't know his story, please go Google it, but I think a lot of you do. This is a man, a Jordanian man, who has been living in Youngstown for, over 30 years, has a family, and had the convenience store that opened in downtown Youngstown, one of the very newest convenience stores in the Youngstown area in quite some time, at least in the downtown corridor. And he was deported in the middle of the night a couple years ago by the Trump administration when they were cracking down on immigrants who had overstayed their visas. Now, this guy was essentially ripped away from his wife, from his children, and was not even allowed to talk to him until he was told that he was officially being deported. And that was after spending a few nights in prison. Luckily, and somehow through litigious magic, his lawyer was able to get him into Mexico and then back into the country, and he is looking to be able to stay permanently with a special exception citizenship request that I really hope will be filled. So welcome back to Youngstown, Mvdp. We are glad to have you back in the community. So we have the Labor Day weekend upon us. What a better time to talk about some dismal job numbers. I know. Apparently, the American economy only added about 230-some thousand jobs when they were hoping for an addition of about 600,000 or 700,000 jobs. That is a sharp decline from their projection, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Delta variant. You got a lot of people out there who are hesitant to go out and spend money, so there's not that much need for service-based economy and service-based workers, and you're also seeing that a lot of people are hesitant to go back to work either because of wages or because of workplace safety concerns with the variant going crazy. I hope we are able to get this under wraps. I hope we are able to get people back to work at the numbers that we're looking for, because nothing is better than a strong American economy where everyone is profiting and flourishing to the best of their abilities. Odd story for you, and then we're going to wrap it up. 2 of them are coming from China. 1, masculine men now only allowed on television. That's right. If you are effeminate in any way, if you have a high voice, if you have really nice hair, or maybe too pretty of a face for some, that's it, you're out. So you like watching all those HGTV shows? Well, under this new law, forget about it. I don't even know if Justin Timberlake would qualify as manly enough to survive this one. The Chinese government no longer wants to have any type of maybe Western influence warping the minds of their robot citizens. They're seeing a lot of influence from the westernized Japanese and South Korean cultures influencing their people, and they have had enough of it. So that means that it's only going to be Charles Bronson and I guess that's probably too old of a reference for many people on this show. Maybe not. You're only allowed to be John Cena, but not the John Cena that reads books to kids, the one that throws people across the screen. That's all that's allowed now because you have to be tough if you want to be winners. And we know that's not the case, but that's how they see it over there in China also, in terms of one-track thinking and big brother thinking. You want to talk about overreach by a government? They just came out with a law this week that limits the amount of video games you're allowed to play if you're under 18 to 3 hours a week. As a brand new parent, I think this is great. I think screen time stinks, and I like when they're using their imaginations as opposed to just staring at the pixels. However, this is Big Brother writ large. This is Orwellian. They are allowed to and mandate that they can see how much you're gaming. You are allowed as a child to only play from like 8 to 9 p.m. on Fridays and then weekends and holidays, but only totaling 3 hours a week. This is crazy. I think that in this country, we respect people's freedom of choice, and unfortunately, people make the wrong decisions often. However, to be a free society, you have to allow people to screw up. You have to allow people to see the errors of their ways on their own, or as a society or a culture, hopefully pushing the right mores on one another, not through government intervention. This is terrible, and I can't believe it's just the next step in total authoritarianism of the Chinese people. Now listen, I understand that there are a lot of parents in this country that play far more than 3 hours a day in video games. Do I think that they should be teaching their children this type of behavior? No. But do I think that they should be free to do so? Yes. Hopefully, by not having a job or not having any time to do anything else, they will see the errors of their ways and make better life decisions. But that is left up to the individual. That is, I think, what we can all agree on. Let's stay free. And let's push back against any type of encroachment on our freedoms that we may be seeing, i.e. the Texas abortion bill. You heard me talk about it yesterday. I'm going to talk about it again today just for a second. This is diming people out. This is turning in your neighbor. This is the Big Brother state and a bounty system being put in place by the state of Texas. Now, they were able to circumvent the law because they said that as long as the state isn't prosecuting someone for having an abortion, it is a private citizen, that is essentially legal. Complete horse poopy, and it is a step down a very dangerous path. Keep an eye on Texas, folks. There is a lot of bad stuff coming out and a lot of bad ideas being circulated as though it's for the betterment of society. This isn't what we want, and this is not American. No bounty system on your fellow citizens. And on that happy note, I guess we're going to end this one and get you on your way. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.